Hello guys, welcome to today's class. In our previous class, we talked about properties of limit, and knowing the properties of a limit, it will help you in solving questions on limit and continuity. But today we'll be solving some examples on limits. So the first example say that evaluate lim x when x approaches 0, 7 minus 2x plus 5x squared minus 4x cubed. So now to solve this question, the first thing you need to do is to take the limit of each term inside the bracket. This is in a polynomial form. So take the limit of each term in the bracket when x tends to 0. So now we have lim 7 when x tends to 0. The next term inside there is minus 2x. So we have minus lim 2x when x tends to 0 plus lim 5x squared when x tends to 0 minus lim 4x cubed when x tends to 0. So now this is equal to lim 7 when x tends to 0. So you take 2 to the front of the limit. So we have 2 lim x when x tends to 0 plus 5 lim x squared when x tends to 0 minus 4 lim x cubed when x tends to 0. So this is equal to, wherever you see x, you put 0, substitute it with 0. So here we have, since there is no x, we have 7 minus 2 when x tends to 0. So we have 2 raised by what? 2 times what? 0. We replace 0 in the place of what? X. Plus 5 times x square. So 5 times 0 square minus 4. Wherever you see x, like I said, you put what? 0. So we have 0 cubed. So this is equal to 7 minus 2 times 0 gives you what? Minus 0 plus 5 times 0 square gives you 0 minus 4 times 0. Everything here gives you what? 0. So our answer is what? 7. The limit of this function when x tends to 0 is equal to 7. Now, for example, let's solve this function when x tends to 1. So we say the limit when x tends to 1 of this function x minus 2x plus 5x squared minus 4x cubed. So if you follow the same method you solved for this function when x tends to 0, apply the same method here. So we have this is equal to lim 7 when x tends to 1 minus lim 2x when x tends to 1 plus lim 5x squared when x tends to 1 minus lim 4x cubed when x tends to 1. So this is equal to lim 7 minus 2 lim x plus 5 lim x squared minus 4 lim x cubed. So this limit is when x tends to 1, when x tends to 1, when x tends to 1, when x tends to 1. So like I said, wherever you see when x tends to 1 or when x approaches 1, wherever you see x, you substitute it with what? 1. So we have, since there is no x here in this term, we have 7 minus 2 times 1 plus 5 times what? Wherever I see x, you substitute with 1, 1. 1 square minus 4 times 1 cube. So this is equal to 7. 2 times 1 gives you what? Minus 2. 2 plus 1 square is 1. 5 times 1 gives you 5. So we have 5 here minus 1 cube is 1. So we have minus what? 4. 4 times 1 gives you 4. So if you sum up this 7 minus 2, or we can rearrange it also, this is still the same thing as this is equal to 7 plus 5 minus 2 minus 4. So minus 2 minus 4, this is 7 plus 5 gives you 12. Minus 2 minus 4 gives you what? Minus 6. So 12 minus 6, our answer is what? 6. So the limit when x tends to 1 of this function is 6. While the limit of this function when x tends to 0 is what? 7. Now let's solve the second example. Second example says that find the limit of this function. Evaluate this when x tends to 0. X squared plus 5x plus 9 over 2x squared minus 3x plus 15. So this is equals to, you take the limit of each term inside. So we have, this is equals to lim when x tends to 0, x squared plus 5x plus 9 divided by lim when x tends to 0, 2x squared minus 3x plus what? 15. So now we can evaluate this like the way we did for the example 1, both the numerator and the denominator. So this is equal to, we have lim when x tends to 0, x squared plus 5 lim x when x tends to 0 plus lim 9 when x tends to 0. Remember, it's divided by, we have 2 lim x squared when x tends to 0 minus 3 lim x when x tends to 0 plus 15, plus lim 15 when x tends to 0. So now, remember I said that wherever you see 0, when x tends to 0, wherever you see x, you replace it with what? Or substitute it with 0. So we have 0 square minus 5 times what? 0 plus 9. Since there is no x here, so we put plus what? 9. So this is divided by 2 times what? 0 square minus 3 times 0 plus 15. There is no x with 15, so we have plus what? 15. So this is equal to 0 square is 0 minus 5 times 0 gives you what? 0 plus 9 over, this is divided by 0 square gives you 0. So 2 times 0 is what? 0 minus 3 times 0 is what? 0 plus what? 15. So this is equal to what? 9 over what? 15. Now can still cancel this to the lowest term. So this is equal to, the limit of this function equals to 3 can go into 9 gives you what? 3. 3 can go to 15 gives you 5. Equal to 3 over 5. So the limit of this function when x tends to 0 is equal to 3 over 5. On our next class, we'll still solve further questions, further examples on limit. So remember, everything we do here is called a direct substitutional method. So we are going to solve some examples on other method of solving limits that are not direct substitutional. There are some that we have to factorize before we can get the exact limit. So please like, subscribe, and share. See you on our next class.